This podcast is hosted by Buzzsprout. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners. The team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message to the world. If you want an upgrade, Buzzsprout has tons of guides to help you find exactly what you need. We use Buzzsprout and it's a game changer for us. An all new analytics system helps us track who's listening to our show and where they're listening to it. If you'd like to use Buzzsprout as well, follow the link in our show notes to buzzsprout.com. And while you're there, let them know that Films and Fermentation sent you.
Hello, Spooklings.
I'm Jason,
And I'm Kathy.
and we're the hosts of the weekly podcast, All Hallows Eve Podcast.
We are a husband and wife duo with a passion for anything spooky, macabre, and true crime, sprinkled with our own twist of comedy.
We explore topics such as the history of Halloween, the Butcher of Plainfield, Hocus Pocus 2, urban legends, superstitions, and more.
So come join us as we go down the rabbit hole that is All Hallows Eve Podcast.
Listen and follow us at allhallowsevepodcast.com or your favorite podcast provider.
Stay spooky, my friends.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Films and Fermentation, episode 122. That's right, we are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're just three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. On this episode 122, we're going to be celebrating some movies that are turning 30 this year. And this year, we're going to revisit the year 1993 and take a look at some classics that are turning 30 years old. But wait, this is going to be a game show episode. So instead of our usual reviews, Mike and Kevin are going to compete against each other and see who can guess the most films that are turning 30 this year. I'm not competing. I am the host because I think it's pretty safe to say I probably would have beat you guys pretty handily.
Did you say beat you with handy?
Yeah, beat you handily. Yeah.
All I
Beat
have
you
to
all.
say to that is Twinkie.
Ghostbusters. Yep. Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon or going to teespring.com and buying our merch.
Kevin
Gentlemen.
needs new equipment.
I think we could all use new equipment because this fucking microphone's really getting on my nerves right now. What are we drinking this evening?
I've cracked into I finally got through all of my summer beers. There's one beer in the fridge left for Megan. That's that blueberry maple that you guys tried last week. But I've cracked
You
into
guys tried last week.
True, that we tried last week, Blake. But I've cracked into the Sam Adams seasonal. I figured I'd get the one I probably wouldn't like the most out of the way, which is their Sam Adams Hoppy Lager. And it's okay. It's a hoppy beer. I'm not into really hoppy beers, even though I'm branching into IPAs. I'm not into it. But I am looking forward to the Flannel Fest, which is a Munich Dunkel. 5.2% alcohol by volume, 20 IBUs. Yeah, this is the new one, I think, from Sam.
Yeah, I don't ever heard that one before. So,
And they still have their Oktoberfest and their Jacko in the fridge downstairs.
Mike, since you ran off in a hurry earlier, what are you drinking?
I am drinking. I'm keeping with my theme from the last 2 weeks. I am drinking River Horse Hippo Lantern Pumpkin.
Ooh.
8.1% alcohol by volume from River Horse Brewing
All right.
Company in Ewing, New Jersey.
I've been there.
Ewing.
It's pretty small. Kind of reminds me of
Up in their
Second Sin. Second Sin. It's in like a business complex area.
Well, my amazing, lovely wife made tacos for dinner tonight.
No, what happened to Katie?
I'll let her know. And who She had margaritas as well with it, so I had some margaritas with my dinner, and I'm continuing my margarita trip now with another margarita. It is actually Jose Cuervo pre-mixed margaritas, double strength. So
How are they?
little extra tequila in it.
You know, I had purchased everything over the summer to make a Corona Rita and never got around to it. I got the can of lime concentrate and a 6-pack of Coronas and a bottle of tequila, and just never came about. So,
yeah, she actually made frozen margaritas earlier. I'm just drinking this one straight on the rocks. Double tequila. It's actually making my lips tingle a little bit. It's weird. It's good though.
I don't know if this is nobody doing this, guys.
I never not enjoy a margarita. So, alrighty, Mike. Anything happened this week?
This week in film history. Well, not a lot happened in film this week, but however, a lot of TV premieres happened today. The ones I have is just for today.
Wow. Well, I think this is typically it's like the fall and the spring when they premiere a lot. This is like the premiere season. So
except for this year, nothing's premiering this fall.
That's because everything's on streaming networks now. So
well, they're also
there's a writer's strike.
Writers are still on strike. You know.
Yeah.
They get back. They've had all this off on strike. They better come up with some new ideas. I'm tired of the old shit.
So what happened this day then? What TV shows premiered?
The 1957 Maverick starring James Garner came on ABC. 1976 Charlie's Angels starring Farrah Fawcett. 1982 Family's Ties starring
and a million teenage boys grew up that year.
Michael J. Fox on NBC.
Family Ties, the TV show that introduced us to Michael J. Fox, and almost forced us to watch what's his face in Back to the Future.
Oh, Schultz, not Schultz. I know nothing. No, not Schultz.
You know I'm talking about that.
Stoltz.
Right? Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz.
I picked all these ones from the list that was even longer because of all the movie actors that were either became movie actors later or came back and did TV from being movie actors. 1987 Full House starring Bob Saget premiered. 1980, cut it out. 1989 Baywatch starring David Hasselhoff on NBC.
Another year that introduced a lot of men.
Grew up that year.
Yes, a lot of boys grew up that year.
Beach running in slow-mo. Thank you, Pamela Anderson.
In 1994, Friends premiered on NBC.
What was their running time? Did they do 10 years?
Friends?
Yeah. Was it 10 seasons, 10 years?
They were on way longer than I think they needed to be. So their last two seasons weren't great.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was about 10 years or so. But it's a show still going, man. You can catch that almost anywhere on like streaming or syndicated or whatever.
In 1999, The West Wing premiered on NBC. Talk about your
one of my
movie actors coming doing TV.
Oh yeah,
Martin Sheen.
Yeah,
playing the president.
Rob Lowe.
Yeah, Allison Janney was on that for a while, right?
Allison Janney was on there. What's his name? God, there's of them. They can keep going.
Yeah, Spencer.
It was also who was the writer?
Aaron Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin, right? It was a Sorkin series.
The Sorkin series. It went for 7 years.
That knew how to run because it was a term, like that's a great way. It's like it's going to be 7 or 8 years. That's it.
Yeah. They started in the second term so they can, then a second year of his first term, do a re-election, then finish off the end of the term. They didn't even go into the next president with it. They get the election of the next president and ended.
Right.
Wasn't the next president like Jimmy Smits or something?
It was Jimmy Smits versus Alan Arkin? Alan Alda.
Alan Alda. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2003, Two and a Half Men starring Charlie Sheen premiered.
From one Sheen to another.
Yep.
Are you going to do the premiere for when it wasn't Charlie Sheen on TV?
Yeah. Ashton Kutcher joins the cast.
Yeah.
And
After Charlie Sheen's character is unceremoniously thrown in front of a train.
I don't think he was winning that year.
Go ahead, Mike.
2004 Lost premiered on AC.
Okay,
Either you guys watch
more
Lost?
Disappointed. I started to. I watched
it
3 seasons.
maybe for the first 3 seasons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say I never watched Lost.
Oh.
Like many J.J. Abrams things, starts off strong and then fizzles out.
I mean, it's the sense I got from people I talked to about it. Like they were all like really disappointed the further the show went along, and I'm like kind of glad I didn't get involved in it. Like I don't get
more convoluted as it went along. I'm like, I'm done.
And then they just needed to wrap it up. They're like, oh, it's purgatory. Oh, sorry guys, spoiler alert. Oh, it's purgatory.
Yeah,
you know,
like I don't get invested in as many TV shows as I do movies. So
I don't get invested in anything J.J. Abrams starts because it never finished. There was that. There was Alias. Alias kind of fizzled out. You know, that didn't end strong.
That gave us Wasp. What's her name? What's her name again? Who played Wasp?
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She was in Lost. Yeah.
She was in Lost. Yep. I forgot the year for this one. So I think it was Veronica Mars starring Kristen Bell on UPN.
Well, if we needed to know the year, let's just face the facts. It's on UPN.
Well, it's between 2004 and 2009.
I was going to say, since you're pretty much going in order here, I would say it's probably around like 2006 or 2007, probably.
Yeah.
Another show I never really got into.
I never saw that one. No,
I never got into it. I did like Kristen Bell. I thought she was cute, but
2004 it came out the same year as Lost.
Okay.
So I know it was a big hit. I know that's kind of what made her, who she is, and I've seen her. Like I liked, she was The Good Place was a really good series.
Good Place was very good, yeah.
And I liked her.
Sarah Marshall.
Sarah Marshall, she was really good in that, yeah. And what's the last one you got there, Mike?
In 2009, and yes, L.A. starring Chris O'Donnell premiered on CBS.
You're burying the lead there. It also stars LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't the movie star. Chris O'Donnell was the movie star.
Hey, LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, knock your mama out.
I watched that entire series.
I know you did. You watch all the NCISs.
Now, Mike, would you agree? Was the original NCIS better than the LA?
Was. Now I think it's gone on too long.
Okay. I've always found, and this is not just NCIS, but this is CSI.
Well, LA, the concept of LA, they were supposed to be special projects and undercover a lot more. Then they just turned into better NCIS than LA.
Just like a procedural, just like the other show.
Yeah. I usually find the original show tends to be better than the subsequent the sequel shows or the spinoff. Except, I mean, I love Law and Order SVU much more than I like Law and Order. But I know Law and Order was an amazing show in its time too. And Criminal Minds are not Criminal Minds. What's that?
NCIS was a spinoff.
NCIS was a spinoff of NCIS LA? That was the original?
No.
Oh.
The original NCIS is a spinoff.
Of what?
Of what?
From JAG.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know
those were the same universe. I knew of JAG and I knew of NCIS. I didn't know they fell in the same universe.
They were the same universe because that's how Mark Harmon got premiered for, he premiered NCIS in JAG. And later on, they had the two JAG people on NCIS. Years later.
Crossover.
Well, years later, after JAG was even off the air, they had them come on.
As the same characters and stuff. Okay.
As the same
All
characters, yep.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that. I thought NCIS was the original. I didn't know that it was a spinoff of Jag.
there's a spinoff of Jag. Yep.
The more you know.
I agree with you. Like CSI was an amazing show, but like I hated CSI,
CSI Miami was horrible.
I'm not a big
like
David
New
Caruso
York.
fan.
No.
The New York one
love
was
New
good,
York.
but it was mainly because of Gary Sinise.
Yes.
I mean, Gary Sinise is hard not to like. So,
But I think that fell into the window of CSI Miami sucked so much that New York didn't get a fair shake. Then
they tried to do CSI like cyber or something at one point. It was like cyber crimes, and I don't even think that lasted a season.
Well, they rebooted CSI, so
yeah. Do you have any must-try beer craft destinations this evening, Mike?
I have a must-try beer. I'm going to butcher the first part of this name. Is Schreckler Oak Duckelbach from Tram Brewery in Bamberg, Germany. Bamberg is a wonderful place for lovers of all kinds of beer, but it's perhaps best known for its lagers made with smoked malt and are typically not 8% alcohol by volume, like its Dunkelbach. Excuse me. Jeez, I can't even talk. The malt is usually smoked over beechwood, not oak. Here, however, oak lends its smoother, more complex smoke notes, which pairs wonderfully with the multi-layered malt intensity of the deep red amber double bock. Smoke dominates neither aroma nor flavor. There you go.
Should have read it in
Smoke
German.
beer. Yeah, I don't know that. I know how to order a beer and count to like
Stein beer.
Ein Bier bitte. Ein.
All right, it is time for a personal favorite segment of ours, Synopsis According to Glip. Brought to you by Newsly.me. Newsly.me is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android that reads the news to you in a natural human voice. Stop scrolling, start listening. Go to Newsly.me today and enter the promo code N for MENT to get your first month premium subscription for free. Bless you. So according to Glip, so last week's episode was the deep dive into the career of Ron Howard. But according to Glip, this is what the episode was really about. The hosts are discussing Ahsoka for this week and the person who was Sabine's roommate. Leo is trying to get the metrics up on the podcast websites while burning his mouth with the cinnamon. Kevman discussed cow tipping with farmers and bankers. Mike spoke of Ron Howard's acting career and the learning tree of the Andy Griffith Show. The host talked about how Ron Howard tapered off after the mid-90s.
Well, apparently I'm the only one talking about Ron Howard during this whole episode.
That's right.
You guys talked about other bullshit.
we were too busy trying to figure out who Sabine's roommate was. No, that was the Kev said what is
it's a cat.
She was really Luke's father or something like that, and I was like, no, it was his mother's roommate. We were doing things like that.
But the roommate was a cat.
I was talking about getting the metrics up on the podcast by having people download the episode and things like that. I did burn my mouth with cinnamon because I put too much cinnamon moonshine in my Coke. Cow tipping was the name of the beer from Farmers and Bankers Brewery that Kevman had last week.
That's right.
And we did talk about Ron Howard's acting career as well as his directing career. And Mike pointed out how he was on the Andy Griffith Show where he had a learning tree of actors like Andy Griffith and Don Knotts, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, we did mention that as great as his career was in the late 80s and 90s, he did kind of taper off a little bit in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, again, on the surface, kind of crazy, but deep down, it knew what we were talking about.
Yeah,
because it
just interprets things differently. That's all.
Yeah, It interprets it the way it wants because it's the synopsis according to Glip. We'll be right back after a short break with some promos from some of our fellow podcasters. Please stay with us after the break for our main segment, movies that are turning 30 this year.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening!
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Deb.
And we host a pretty fun podcast called Today We Laughed and Learned. You know, this is where we discuss all the things we should have learned, but, well, never did. And we have quite a few laughs along the way.
Today we laughed and learned with Chris and Deb.
We're curious about everything. Experts on nothing.
Come find us wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back from our short break. Thank you for staying with us. So this is our main segment, movies turning 30. So there was a list of 30, I guess you could call influential movies from 1993, turning 30 this year. What I did was I took 15 of those films and I rewrote them in the worst possible one-plot summary I could. I'm going to read these summaries to our distinguished co-hosts here and see how many they can guess.
Who showed up?
So for each movie, one of you will go first. If you get the film on the first guess, you get 3 points. If you get it wrong, your opponent can steal and get those points themselves. If no one guesses on the first clue, I will give a second clue worth 2 points. That will be either like an obscure actor or a supporting actor from the film. If you still haven't gotten it, then we'll go to the third clue, which is worth 1 point. The third clue is your choice between the director of the film or one of the stars of the film. The winner is the person who accumulates the most points. In the case of a tie, I will do a tiebreaker question consisting of a movie turning 40 this year.
I might get that one.
Who's tallying the points? Do I need to do math?
I am going to keep track of the points here.
I don't need to do math.
You don't need to do math. I will keep track of the points myself.
Leo, this is not like Whose Line? The points do matter?
The points do matter here, yes.
Oh, shit.
Because the guy that loses is getting kicked off the show.
Twist ending.
Yes, there goes all your beer trivia.
Mike, I don't think this is going to be as difficult as you think it's going to be. Like I said, I worked really hard on getting these really bad one sentence summaries, but I don't think they're going to be too difficult to figure out. And you'll get a chance to, get other clues if you need them. So, should I flip a coin, or do one of you guys want to volunteer to go first?
Flip a coin.
Flip a coin, the man says. That means I got to actually get a fucking coin now. Hold on, I got a coin right next to me. In the bag here. Hold on. I'm more like that. All right.
I've been telling people about the benefits of eating dried grapes. It's all about raising awareness.
Man, I got a dad joke for you guys. I'll tell you off air. Let's go. Mike heads, Kevin tails. I'm going to flip the coin now.
Tails!
It is tails. So Kevin's going to go first. There we go. So clue number 1. This is the first movie from the list of movies turning 30 this year. Kev, you ready?
Clue. Sorry.
Here's the first clue. This is the poor one-sentence summary.
Okay.
Scientists take a stab at playing God. Obviously, shit happens.
Jurassic Park.
Very good, sir. That is 3 points for you, sir. I tell you guys are all going to get these.
I
In the
knew
first
that
one.
one.
I'm going to look like an asshole because I didn't make these hard enough. All right, so Mike, you got the second one.
All righty.
Cynical weatherman tries to overcome his faults as well as escape a time loop.
Groundhog Day.
See, I told you, not as hard as you think they are. They will get a little more difficult as we go through this. All right, Kev, you got the third one.
All right.
9 boys inexplicably torture an old man during a crazy summer in the 1960s.
Sandlot.
I did not make this difficult enough. I swear to God. All right, Mike, you got number 4.
Oh, boy.
Shit goes down in a western town based on a true story.
Tombstone.
Boy, I got egg on my face right now.
No, you're doing well, Lee. You're doing well.
I was like so proud of myself working on this. I'm like, man, I did a good job with these. Like, fuck. All right, Kev, here's the next one.
All right.
Movie studio shits out a pale take on a beloved video game franchise.
Super Mario Brothers.
You got it. I was hoping that one would be a little difficult because, you know,
Well, I didn't know the year, but I kind of figured that was the first one that, you know.
I mean, I was hoping you might have said like Double Dragon or something like that, and like Mortal Kombat.
Nah, good old Hoskins. It's a me, it's Mario.
Bob Hoskins didn't know he was filming a video game movie till halfway through production.
What are these Goombas?
His son told him that it was a video game that he was filming. Where am I at? All right, next one, Mike. This is yours. Virgin lights a candle and fucks over a small New England town.
I know this one. The fucking movie your wife likes so much.
That Hallmark Channel movie.
No, it's not.
Boop, 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 boop.
That ain't help.
You know, I accidentally drank a bottle of Invisible Ink last night. I'm now in the hospital waiting to be seen.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. He got it. And did you hear about the peanut walking home alone? It was assaulted. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. All right, Kev, you got the next one. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sociopath dresses as a woman to infiltrate the lives of a single mother and her children.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Those of you listening right now, I am red-faced either from the alcohol or the embarrassment of not making this difficult enough. All right, Mike, you got the next one.
Okay.
Woman stalks a man and his child on the other side of the country.
Sleepless Seattle.
Oh, wow. I thought that one might really be one that stumped Mike.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kev, there's the next one. This parody follows a bumbling but well-intentioned outlaw and his merry band of misfits. Mike knows this one, I could tell.
I do.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Very good, you got it. Mike was like chomping at the bit there.
I was.
Please get it wrong. Please get it wrong.
Did you call me Abe Lincoln? No, I said Abe
No, I said,
Lincoln.
hey, Lincoln.
What are you doing? Thinking there's nobody coming?
All right, Mike, next one's yours.
Mm-hmm.
A stoner flick where a debuting actor improvises a line that'll be repeated ad nauseum for the next 30 years.
I know the actor. I know the line. I fucking remember the movie. It's not coming. This one's definitely not coming. I don't know.
Give up? Kev, you got it?
The movie I'm thinking of, it can't be. It's that was made way earlier. Repeat the clue again.
Stoner flick where a debuting actor improvises a line that'll be repeated ad nauseum for the next 30 years. I'm so happy I finally did a difficult one.
Yeah.
I know the actor and the fucking line. I just can't remember the fucking movie.
Well, then the next two clues aren't going to help you.
No.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna take a shot. Dazed and Confused.
You are correct, sir.
Oh man.
The
All
ad
right,
nauseum line is all right.
Now, was that Dazed and Confused? That wasn't in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That was Dazed and Confused. Okay.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High came out in like 81.
That's what I thought. It was done way earlier. And
no, Dazed and Confused was
Matthew Spinelli. Spinelli
yeah,
going
Spinelli.
through my head, and I'm like, oh, he's a.
It was Spicoli was
Spicoli, right?
Sean Penn, and then Matthew McConaughey made his debut in Dazed and Confused and ad-libbed the all right line.
All right.
And that's become sort of like his thing for the next 30 years. Okay. All right, Mike, you got the next one ready?
Kevin gets the next one because I missed that one.
Yeah. All right, Kev, you ready?
Yeah.
You're currently in the lead by 3 points just because you stole that one from Mike. Here we go. German businessman exploits his Nazi connections to keep his enamelware factory running during World War II.
Schindler's List.
I was particularly proud of the wording on that one.
Man, Kevin's getting softballs. I'm getting fucking.
You're not going to like the next one then.
Conspiracy. They're out to get me.
Emo girl attends summer camp where she proceeds to traumatize campers and counselors alike.
Adam's Family. Values.
Yeah, it's like waiting. It's gonna give you just wanted to give you one extra second there. Adam's Family Values. Yeah,
I had to remember which one. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be Values.
That's
right.
It's the sequel.
Wait a minute.
All right, Kev.
That's the one with. Are they made with real Girl Scouts?
Yes.
That's the one where they do their play at the end, and she smiles, and the little blonde girl's like, "I'm terrified right now."
Yeah.
All right, Kev. Here's the next one. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Movie with a title that sounds suspiciously like pornography, but actually tells the heartwarming tale of a boy and his orca.
You have to go with that last part.
Free Willy.
Yeah, I don't know. If I just stuck with the pornography part, it might have been a little more difficult, but. All right, Mike. This is the only clue that has the main actor's name in the clue.
Okay.
Here we go. Pauly Shore stars in this rinse and repeat Pauly Shore style comedy that wasn't titled Encino Man.
The Farmer's Daughter? Is that what it's called?
Oh, man, you're so close.
Farm.
It has something to do with a farmer's daughter, which is why you're like really close.
Oh, fuck.
Kev, do you think you know what this is? Kev knows.
Kev got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give Mike a little extra help here. Here we go. So yeah, he marries the farmer's daughter in the film.
help me with the fucking name of the movie.
What do you call the guy that marries the daughter?
Son-in-law.
Yeah, three extra bones there because Kevin's got a 6-point lead anyway. So it's the last one, and Kevin's got a 6-point lead. So, all right, Kevin, it's the last one I got here. It's the 15th clue that I came up with.
All right.
He's got a 6-point lead. He only took one from me.
Well, he got the next one after that.
Okay.
So, I mean, he still got the lead either way.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin's probably going to get the last one too.
Well,
Old
because
guys.
it's not even out.
Yeah. Old guys.
15, there's not even ones.
Here's the last clue. Old guys try to get laid.
Grumpy old men.
And,
I almost wish I did this for the other 15
was that
films.
the one with that? Was that the one with Oh, Bye Bye Birdie star? What's her name?
Anne Margaret. Yeah, that's the first
Was
one.
that the one with Anne Margaret? Okay, because they
Yeah, the
did
first
another
one-
one with Sophia Loren, right?
Yeah, that was
Or
Grumpy
was
Old
Sophia
Man.
Loren? Okay.
you
Yeah,
guys,
Grumpy Old Man.
every
What's
clue
that,
you
Mike?
gave Kevin, I knew the answer to.
You should have won the.
It was the
you
flip
should
of
have
the
won the
coin, man.
coin toss.
You should have said. Yeah, you should have asked to go first. I said I did the flip.
That's all right.
Good night,
Everyone
guys.
that you,
See,
everyone
I
that you
see
knew,
I'm off here now.
everyone you knew, Mike, I also knew. So we would have been.
So next week I'll be doing open auditions for Mike's replacement.
Why do I
just
see
kidding,
Katie
Mike.
behind the demo tape?
Yeah, just kidding. Mike is an important part of the show because I don't feel like doing the history shit. So I do enough for this show. So anybody got anything they want to say about any of those films? Anybody want to say anything about any of those films that we mentioned
So
there?
when you did the son-in-law, and I knew it wasn't Encino Man. I was questioning whether or not it was Biodome for a moment, and I feel like there might have been another Pauly Shore at that time.
There
But
was
I'm blanking on it.
there was another one where I think he goes into the army,
In the army.
There's
Army now.
and there's another one where he's on like jury duty or something.
Well, I remember that one too.
It's hard to say because it seems like all of his films were kind of like a repeat of all the Ernest films,
Yes.
just with Pauly Shore. That's why I did the clue the way I did it. Pauly Shore film, rinse and repeat of a Pauly Shore film, not called Encino Man. So, because I actually kind of like Encino Man a little bit.
That's because
Oh,
it
yeah,
wasn't just
um,
before.
Yeah, it's Brendan
Fraser.
Fraser, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Austin did
America's
that, too.
sweetheart.
Sean Astin, Brendan Fraser, yeah. And that's where we all learned about We Sent the Cheers. So just to repeat here, the first movie was Jurassic Park. We've talked about that plenty on the show. Groundhog Day, which I'm sure we've talked about before. Sandlot, I'm sure we've talked a lot about before. I feel like we talked about Tombstone not too long ago.
We did.
I think it was like might have been with the twin films or something because Tombstone came out the same year as Wyatt Earp.
Yep.
Mario Brothers. I don't think we've ever really talked about the Super Mario Brothers film that much on the show, just because it's such a shitty movie.
We may have brought it up. I want to say we did a video game show once where we talked about Mario Brothers. We talked about Uncharted. We talked about Doom.
Yes, we did. Because the only good ones were the Final Fantasy ones they did in Japan.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the first season we did a video game episode.
Yeah.
First or second season. It was very early. What else we got? Hocus Pocus, which I'm sure we'll probably talk about again on like a Halloween episode or something. Mrs. Doubtfire, we've talked about before, I'm sure. Sleepless in Seattle. I don't know if that's one we really talked about.
That.
Maybe if we did like a Tom Hanks
spotlight on Nora Ephron or something,
or Tom Hanks' career or something like that. Robin Hood, Men in Tights. I'm sure we talked about because we did a Mel Brooks episode way back when.
Yes.
I feel like the Dazed and Confused we talked about recently on an episode.
I think we
I
also
don't remember
briefly. It's like
Yeah, I don't remember why we talked about it, but I want to say it was on like a previous episode, like recent. Schindler's List we talked about on our
decent cast too.
Mhm.
Dazed and
I think it
Confused,
might have
Parker
been.
Posey,
Oh,
Joey
it was
Lauren
it was the
Adams.
episode. It was the episode about actor debuts. Because
Right.
it was
that's right.
McConaughey's debut in that show. Yeah. Schindler's List we talked about on our special Valentine's Day episode of the saddest films ever made. We never talked about Free Willy on the show before.
And we never will.
And we never will.
That will be on our special animal episodes.
I can honestly say we've never talked about Pauly Shore on the show before either, and I don't think we ever will again.
And we never will.
Nope.
And I think we talked about Grumpy Old Men at some point too. So here's some other movies that turned 30 this year that I just had a really hard time coming up with bad summaries for. The first one. So let's continue the game on. We won't play for any points, but what I'll do is I'll throw out like the actor or actress or something who was in this film and see if you can guess who it is.
Okay.
So this movie starred Lawrence Fishburne and Angela Bassett.
Yeah, it's the Tina Turner story, but what was it called?
What's love got to do with it?
What's love got to do? What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Second one, I think, is one that Mike can get pretty easily. A movie based on an SNL skit starring Dan Aykroyd.
Coneheads.
The Coneheads, yeah.
That was just on recently too.
Yeah, it's a bad movie, man.
Mm.
Oh, I just spoke about the actor who played Ernest earlier. This is a movie he did that wasn't an Ernest film, but it was a movie version of a old TV series.
Not Hogan's Heroes.
Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed.
Beverly Hillbillies.
One day he was shooting at the
We kind of forget
and
about
up
that
in the
movie,
ground
too.
came a bubbling crude. Oil, that is. Black gold. Texas
Did they get
tea.
Estelle Getty to play Grandmom in that one?
Was it Estelle Getty? I'm looking it up now because there was another actor in the film I was trying to remember the name of and I couldn't. So Beverly Hillbillies. So it starred Jim Varney as Jed Clampett. He was the actor who played Ernest. Cloris Leachman was Granny.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Lily Tomlin was in it. She played Miss Hathaway, the secretary at the bank. Dietrich Bader played Jethro. Erica Eleniak, that's the actress I couldn't think of. She played Ellie Mae. She was a Baywatch actress. She was also in Under Siege with. She was the Playboy model who jumps out of the cake in Under Siege too, the Steven Seagal movie.
I'm a cook.
Leah Thompson was in this film.
Oh, yeah?
I don't remember because I probably have seen that movie once. Here we go. Next one. It's about a city that I hate going back to.
New York. Oh, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Starring Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington. So yeah, if we did a Tom Hanks episode, talk about that one again.
Washington episode.
The next one stars, let's see, how can I say this? It stars Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore and Robert Redford.
Oh, Indecent Proposal.
Indecent Proposal. The next one stars... Oh, I came up with an idea for another show, and this one actually reminded me of it. The best performances by non-actors. I came up with that idea because I rewatched They Live the other night, and I was like, man, Roddy Piper kicks ass in this. And so this next movie stars a rapper and a singer, Janet Jackson and Tupac Shakur.
Oh, I love poetry? No. Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice. The next one stars one of my favorite Hollywood vampires, Ming-Na Wen.
Interview with a Vampire?
Joy Luck Club. Very good, man. Oh. Interview with the Vampire. The next one is about animals trying to find their way home.
Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound.
The Amazing Journey. Yep.
The next one garnered Leonardo DiCaprio his very first Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Very good. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? I was trying to make that as hard as I could. It was very difficult. I couldn't say like he played a boy with Down syndrome. It probably would like gave it away. The next one is sort of like a spiritual sequel to Boys in the Hood. Not the same director or writer, but a similar themed movie because it's about LA gangs. This is one I really
New
fuck
Jack
you guys
City.
over with. No. New Jack City came out a few years before this, I think. This one is called Menace to Society.
Oh.
That's one I really could have fucked you guys over with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The next one is often cited as a Tim Burton film, but it's really not a Tim Burton film.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Mike, this one's for
something
you.
to do with it.
This one's for you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Jamaican bobsled team.
Gold Runnings, man.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Something, it's bobsled time.
The next one stars Macaulay Culkin in a follow-up to Home Alone.
Home Alone 2.
Co-starring Elijah Wood.
Oh, the good son.
The Good Son. I had to explain that one to Katie. She's like, I never heard of that one. I was
It's
like,
a lot like it's
movie.
it's a male remake of The Bad Seed, isn't it?
yeah, kind of. And that's it. I said
It's
it's
a freaky movie too.
it was Macaulay Culkin's attempt at something serious where he plays this psychopathic kid that gets adopted into his family and tries to kill his stepbrother.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets thrown off a cliff at the end.
Yeah, but he did look.
Mommy,
He did make the
save me, I love
psychopath
you.
look
I love
right.
you.
He
What'd
did
you
have
say,
to
Mike?
look for psychopathic. He did have to look for a psychopathic kid.
Yeah, well, he had to practice in in the Home Alone movie where he was playing the young version of the Jigsaw killer. So
Yeah.
And the last one, I don't know why the sequel was made. I know some people actually kind of like this sequel, but it there's some plot holes in here for me. It stars Whoopi Goldberg.
Ghost 2.
Sister Act 2.
Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. She goes back to playing the nun.
Movie.
Yeah, but it's like she was famous after the first one. You know,
Yeah.
how do you go back to pretending to be a nun? Don't people recognize you anyway? Like, I mean, yeah, potholes. So those are there are actually, there are plenty of movies that are turning 30 this year, but that was just a short list of them for the sake of time here. So overall, looks like Mike or Kev won the competition by maybe like 3 points or so. I stopped keeping count because really,
once he stole the one,
he stole the one, it was kind of over at that point. So
he wasn't going to miss one.
So, Mike, do you have any beer trivia or history or anything for us this evening?
Beer history. In Pliny's Natural History, he speaks of Spanish brewers making beer called Celsa and Sursa, and of the Gauls producing Cervus. So exquisite is the cunning of the mankind and gravity of their vices, vicious appetites, he writes, that they have thus invented a method to make water into itself produce intoxication.
Mm.
Of course.
I'd love to be able to drink intoxicating water.
That's what beer supposedly is.
Yeah. So how are our drinks this evening?
Good.
I wasn't keen on the hoppy lager, but Flannel Fest is turning out to be better. It's not going to replace Jacko or Oktoberfest, but they tried something new. I wouldn't care if they kept it or left it,
They're stuck with the pumpkin beers.
You know
Mike,
what? I'm going to go back and get that whole hog pumpkin ale because that was amazing last week.
Yeah, I tried another one. The what was it called, Mike? The one that tastes like candy corn.
Oh, the caramel
Southern
pumpkin.
Tier.
Caramel pumpkin. It's from it was Southern Tier or something like that.
I got some of the regular pumpkin ale from Southern Tier today. I just haven't drank it yet.
And I'm drinking a margarita because I'm, taco mode tonight. So. So, thank you for joining us this evening for episode 122, where we celebrated some movies turning 30. We're going to be continuing the celebration next week with episode 123. We're going to be doing another recasting episode, and in this episode, we're going to be recasting one of those films turning 30. And by consensus, we decided to go with the movie Tombstone. The original film, of course, starring Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, and etc. We'll be recasting that film next week.
Bill Paxton.
So, yeah, Bill Paxton.
Yes, Bill Paxton. Yeah, this was the other order.
So, thank you for joining us again for episode 122, Films Turning 30. We hope you enjoyed listening to the episode as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can email us at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or go to linktree.com/filmsoffermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films of Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. Please don't forget to like, rate, review, subscribe, and download the show. It's the best way to help us get out there and grow the audience. And then make sure you stop by the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented next week for episode 123, Recasting Tombstone. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Cheers.
It was good having you on the show, Mike. It was great. Thrawn is amazing.
I had such a nerdgasm for Thrawn because I know a little bit of the Thrawn from the Rebels cartoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he was an heir to the Empire.
He was so much like the Thrawn from the books.
Yeah.
Just calm, collected,
cunning,
strategic.
Yep.
Patient.
I like how he showed respect to the witch mothers or mother witches or.
Mm-hmm. And I am of the belief that the stormtroopers are resurrected from the dead.
Oh yeah.
I think they're all undead soldiers that the Dathomir witches woke up for them.
Interesting.
You notice they all have red sashes tied around them, the same color as the witches.
Mm-hmm.
And how badass is that one dude with the gold face?
Enoch. Mm-hmm.
Enoch.
Yep.
The Jedi or the fallen Jedi that was with the other two mercenaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because when he got killed, he was Green Mist, which is the magic
Night
of the
sister,
death
Night brother, whatever.
He was a force fart.
That's kind of my theory. Yeah, he was a force fart. I did like the character design for Enoch as well with the gold face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool. I really liked it. I have to say though, overall, I don't think I've been disappointed by an episode.
No, I haven't been disappointed. No.
Overall, I think it's been they're one of their strongest series. It's up there with the first season of Mandalorian. I think because the first season of Mandalorian was pretty good the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Obi-Wan was real good.
Obi-Wan's really good too. Yeah.
I don't.
Although Obi-Wan, even Obi-Wan had a few lulls here and there. This, yeah. I don't feel like there's been a lull. Although for a show called Ahsoka, I feel like they spent a lot more time with Sabine.
Well, they had to call it something that people knew because they introduced her earlier. They have not introduced Sabine until now.
They should have just called it Rebels Live. Next week, I'm going to introduce you as Bradley.
I'm Mike's twin brother.
This is Mike's twin brother, Bradley. And you can wear like one of those glasses with like the fake nose and mustache and shit.
I'm Daryl. I'm Larry. This is my brother
my
Daryl.
brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl.
You know you're recording again, right?
Am I still?
Yeah.
So this is the ending take 2 because I'm not sure if I recorded the ending take 1. So thanks again for joining us for episode 122, Movies Turning 30. We hope you enjoyed this podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Please visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation to find all of our social media podcast links, or drop us an email at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com. You can support us on Patreon or buy our merch at teespring.com and become part of the Films and Fermentation family. Make sure you download, subscribe, like, rate, and review the podcast when you listen to it, because it's the best way to help us grow our audience. Make sure you join us at the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented next week for episode 123, recasting the film Tombstone. I'm Leo.
I'm Bradley. Or Kevin.
I'm Mike.
I'm Cubby.
Good night, John Boy.
I'm Roy. And thank you for joining us again. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I did that without the script open. I closed my computer already.